Hello guys, and welcome to another lap time challenge video. And in this one we got this Ferrari, one of the most iconic cars in the history of racing at Monza. So here, as you can see, the times got pretty wild, and 44.4 is the current best world time. 47 though needs, I think it just can be done in just a couple of laps if you watch this video. So if you want to stay with me here, I'll show you what can be done and what I learned out of my, let's say, 45 minutes of doing this one. And I eventually got my lap time down to 22nd in the world. So it didn't really start well. 48.0, I was really struggling with this car. Definitely the turning was not the best. The braking zones were a little bit different than with, let's say, Group 3, Group 4 cars. Track limits, yes, be careful about the track limits. You will not get a penalty, you'll just get invalidated lap time. So here, as you probably noticed, I'm getting a lot of these penalties. Actually, a lot of invalidated laps, and you know, it's sometimes on this track it gets frustrating because you need to use these curbs, you need to use everything to actually get a really good lap time. But then if you get it wrong, then you're just invalidating your lap time and it's just all over. So the times were starting to go down. I tried figuring it out, and actually in the end I figured out what works, what doesn't work, and kind of got it to 45.6, and now this lap was slightly better. So I tried to improve as much as I could. This car needs a lot of work to be fast. So the first one, or the first braking point in this guide, would be this 200-meter mark. Brake in the straight line, like I always say, and don't do much. Just wait until the car kind of gets in second, and now you need to downshift into first to get to the rotation. This is something that I found out. So downshifting the first rotates the car. You can take even a wider line, but now look at the acceleration. The acceleration needs to start at about 30-40%. So I know it causes a lot of understeer, but if you don't do it, the wheels will spin quite a lot. So this car doesn't really like that. I mean, doesn't really like pushing the power down too hard, too soon. So you need to gradually put the power down because, yeah, it's just the way it works, I guess. So here, this is the reference on the left. As soon as it gets out of my sight, I brake. It's kind of closer to 150. Here, I need to jump over the first curb. Once again, we are downshifting as we are turning. And I didn't really manage to do it right, but it was a valid lap. Third gear on the way out. In the middle, you can use second, but I think third is the safest option. Here 50, a little bit before the 50, 60, 65, maybe even 70 if you don't, if you cannot really brake that late. Get as close as possible to the apex, and now in the middle of the corner start accelerating. Once again, it needs to go up to 30-40, hold it a little bit, and then put the power down. So you need to stabilize that car in that area. Here, once again, when this kind of mark gets out of your sight, or in between the 150, about 75, you start braking, and I start accelerating even a little bit before the apex there. I know it's difficult, the car will slide quite a lot, but I think gradual acceleration is the key to success here. So gradual acceleration is a must. Here, 150 straight on. Like when you hit 150, this is where you brake. You can use a bit of this curb on the right, but I do not really recommend it. I lost it. I mean, I tried using as much track as possible, but I kind of lost the apex there. Upshifting into fourth here, and you can see that I'm using these little curbs. Would I recommend that? Maybe not, but if you're really looking for a really good lap time, then yes, then I would probably, yes, I would definitely use it, because it's the only way that you can get the decent lap time here. If you want to go, I mean, if you don't touch them, it's gonna be okay, as well as this one. So marshals on the right, you brake in the straight line, kind of in between the 100, 150, 125, I guess is the mark. And now get as close as possible to this curb. But as you can see, I'm always turning and downshifting at the same time. This with this car is just the normal thing to do. It just gives you rotation. The car, as you can see, the car is pretty difficult to handle, but I somehow managed to get this one into 45.3. I know I can go down into 44s, but just the invalidated laps got me, and I just couldn't figure it out how to get it quicker in, let's say, a couple more laps. So this is the guide, but now I even compared my lap time like I usually do with the fastest guy in the world, and I adjusted the time, so you will actually be able to see where I lost a lot of that time. I paused it. So a lot more acceleration, a lot more, I would say, a lot more, I wouldn't call it skill, but a lot more rotation in this section, and this is just where he got me, on, braking, and then downshifting. The car just got more rotation in the corner. Here, looking at 150, he's braking later, and also he is getting off the brakes sooner, but still managing to get around this turn quicker than I did. Somehow, I'm still trying to figure out how he's doing, but I guess when you turn, you need to release the brakes if you don't want the car to understeer a lot. So here, again, he got a little bit better exit. It's always about 2/10, I guess, at the tops, but in the end, it's quite a significant difference, about a second, 9/10 actually. So 2/10 per corner, then yeah, you can actually it's 2/10 per braking point. And here, once again, he's using much more of this curve, and just look at the rotation that he's getting. And as I said before, you need to use those little curves on the right if you want to get like the perfect lap time. This is something that I haven't been able to do. This is something that I want to do, but in general, I always tend to lose the car on the way out, or I get an invalidated lap time. So it is difficult to manage to get this one done perfectly, and then the lap times will tell itself. So in general, this is a pretty difficult challenge, although the lap time itself, I don't think it's going to be that difficult to get. I kind of managed in 45 minutes to get this 22nd place in the world. Sometimes I can do a little bit better, sometimes a little bit worse, but this is the challenge, guys. 45.3 in the end, 13 days to go, and I really hope that you're gonna get that goal. 47.5 at this moment. It can go down, and what can I even say? If you consider this one a good one, you can always like the video, and you might even want to subscribe if you want to help me reach that 30,000 subs. So until the next time, bye.